BOGAN stream is live. How he's going? We're fucking just doing a chilled out stream. Pull up the fucking. Where is my bang? Just pull up my X. I banged out a few new followers actually, eh? When I went to that last weekend to the it was like end migration fucking event. It was awesome. I must have boosted another 500 bloody followers. Maybe got another 50 followers today from Shallow Hal. Bang, this is the event we went to this weekend. Put the greens last. They had a dude fly over the freaking park. It was awesome. Interviewed Shallow Chow. Here he is. The dude's a fucking rig. He's like 52 something. I think he said he was 52. What a fucking weapon. This Tuesday, free defend democracy. Bang. That's going to be pretty epic. I know last year they raised like over 100 grand. So have to give something to that. This kind of year. We're just fucking around. Yo, White Australia. G'day, mate. Did you have like another event, bro? Let's see if we can pull up White Australia on X. Does it come up straight away? Yeah. 665 followers. We need to get you past 666. Yeah, so this young lad, are you a young dude? Someone said in the comments section, they go, oh, yeah, White Australian is a young fella. Yeah, sure did. He put on an event. This guy has got a fucking future. Putting on events, that's where it's at. My whole thing, if you've been following me for years, right, I've always been about doing shit. Like, I won't even necessarily want to post up anything, unless I'm doing something. That's like being attached to the real world. So I got a lot of respect for this young man because he's just like absolutely actually doing shit. 15, bro. Fuck yeah. Well, we've got to fight. We've got to fight for you, man. And I think you've got a bright future ahead of you. And like, we went to this Vote Greens last rally on the weekend. It was good to see. I think they said 330 people rocked up. First anti-green protest. I think it's been done before, but it's one of the first anti-green protests, which is great. Gerard Rennick, Libertarians, One Nation, all together. Advance, which usually backs the Liberal National Party, but they're working with the other minor parties, so that's a fucking good sign. We can fix this country, White Australia. We can fix this country, bro, because when I was 23, how old was I? 23. I bought a house. I freaking, got married, and now I've got 2 boys and a 3rd daughter on the way. And that's the future we want to build for. That's what we need. We need to get back to affordable. How are we going to get there? I don't know. If you see, I did an interview with Shallow Chow yesterday. He banged on re-migration rally. A totally Speaker's Corner, Sydney. So this young 15-year-old is putting on this event, guys. Fucking legend. That is incredible, mate. Patriotic League. There's all these like little groups popping up. This weekend coming, we've got this week. We've got British Australian communities doing an event in Brisbane. So that's going to be good. I mean, if I was to give any tips to anyone, white Australian, go join the British Australian community. Have a look up at Australian Nativists Association. They seem like really good groups in Brisbane, operating out of Brisbane. Them two groups in particular have high quality membership and they do great events and they're just good people. I've signed up to the British Australian community because their event is this weekend and it's for members only. So I was like, bang! I've been hanging out with them dudes for ages, but I finally signed up. Not doing it by myself, but thanks. That's good. Everyone needs to work with as many groups as you possibly can work with. It's the only way. Like if you looked at on my Twitter post, pinned on my Twitter, is our Australia Day event. This was put on with British Australian community, Libertarian, the other side, Damien Cleary, Dave Pello's Source, myself, Dunder Viking from his set. I didn't plug my internet cable, so tell me in the comments section, is it running slow? Yeah, I've already considered joining the British Australian community. Man, they are an excellent organisation. But you got to work. I mean, look, I'm a Christian and biblically a preacher. There's this guy named Ashley Evans. He created, it's called Influences Church. I think he has like 20 locations around the world or more. It's probably like 50 now. Like he's insane. He's awesome, but he's very, I was listening to him preach and he gave all these examples of like, get on the inside, be a part of, be at the table. So, you know, if you can join the British Australian community, if you can network with all these other groups and sign up, if you can join a political party that has branches, that's excellent. I wish One Nation would do branches. I joined the Libertarian Party because they have branches. We need to be in community. That's where you start networking people. This young man, white Australian, he is a young man, but just because you're young doesn't mean you're not a leadership quality. This young man has leadership quality because he's networking, he's organizing events, he's getting out there, he's doing what we all need to do. But yeah, I was listening to that guy preaching, Ashley. Look, this is Campbell Newman cooking the barbecue, ex-Premier of Queensland, like pretty massive. The fact that we organised this event, like the Libertarians just jumped. Obviously, we have run a few events and they ran with it. So you find like one or two groups and then you get attached to a group and then they run with it and everyone does a little bit. And next minute you've got some terrific events happen, you know? And that's what we want to see. Put green. This is this weekend. I kind of thought, I wonder how much influence we had in at this weekend's put the Greens last rally. This is Monica Smith. She spoke at the she did speech at the Vote Greens last protest on the weekend. But I thought, I wonder how much influence like we put on last year. We we did an Anzac Day event. We're going to be doing that again this year. Then we did a Highland Games. Then we did an arm wrestling. The beginning of this year, we did Australia Day. And I feel like the event on the weekend, the vote Greens last rally on the weekend, you could see the vibe, how our Australia Day event had influenced it. It was the same people. But see, we tried hard on Australia Day to get Rennick there, Gerard Rennick, and to get Malcolm Roberts there. And they were sort of like, oh, nah. They were a little bit like hesitant. But this time we managed to get them all there. You know what I mean? So that's when we get people together, being Australian, mateship, working together, that's when you'll get the preference deal. We need to face, we bury the hatchets. Face to face, we never would say horrible things that sometimes we say on the internet. Face to face, we're like, we can see each other eye to eye. You shake each other in the hand, and you're like, we're on the same team. We're on the same team, and then we start working together, and that's what we need to do. We need to start moving forward and battling to save this country, and we will. I don't think I've done any posts of. There he is, Shallow Chow, fucking rig, a build. This dude's a builder. Everyone would know who's Shallow. I've still got to release our interview. I'm just scrolling through my own Twitter. Australia month coming up 1st of April. You know, we had such great success with this might not be the logo that we use for Anzac month, but it was just like last year. This wasn't the logo that we used last year, but it was one of the logos that we could have used. But I just thought it inspired me. I thought it looked cool. It's more me. Last year it didn't go up. This wasn't the logo we went with last year for Anzac month, but it's a fucking cool looking logo. And it's coming up. Like the success we had with Australia month this year was pretty phenomenal. Like in Queensland, we had four events every weekend. Every week we had a different event, and it went viral. Like on Twitter, day one had 25,000 unique Twitter accounts posted about Australia month. Like that's fucking insane. That means millions of people saw it. Australia year, yeah, bro. That's right. But Anzac month, I'm going to be like, I'm doing Lent right now, which has been difficult. I'm breaking my fast every Sunday and having a delicious cold beer. It's been tough. Doing Lent makes me realize like how having it, even though I only have like maybe a few cigarettes every now and then, a few beers every now and then, you're like, whoa, these are like fast food, junk food, a cigarette, a beer. I don't binge drink. I've matured away from that. I used to, but I've grown up a bit, you know, since having kids. But doing Lent is putting that to the side and then trying to go without these things. And then you realize like, oh, there's like, you know, they say, oh, religion is a crutch, or, you know, all this stuff. It's like, okay, well, my religion is making me want to fast and go without at this time of year. And then I realize like how I'm kind of the underlining stresses of the day to day. And you go for a ciggy or a delicious beer, or you know, become lazy and eat fast food and junk food, and you're like, whoa, it's still like that's still a part of my life. You know what I mean? I'm not this perfect person, far from it. So it's like a fucking wake up call doing Lent. But yeah, in the next mission in a few weeks' time, Anzac Month is going to be happening. I don't think it's going to be as big as Australia Month, but we do a Anzac Day event and we do Anzac Month. We'll be doing that. It's going to be epic. I've got to get my act together behind the scenes. It all happens behind the scenes. You know, if we say, right, do Anzac Month, like everyone just post on Anzac Month, 1st of April, take the month, take it, post about the Anzacs. There's so many Anzac heroes that you could do daily posts about Anzac heroes, quotes from Anzac heroes, and just build a sense of pride in our nation, in the culture, our tradition. And we need to be inspired, like our movement, our people, we need to be energized. We need to be inspired. Like that's how we're going to win. That's how I win in life. I have to seek out inspiration. Like on Sunday at church, every community group. This is the thing about White Australia. White Australia gets himself amongst community at 15 years old. He's doing he's running events and he's getting around other people in the flesh. And I bet you he's getting energized. He's getting energized. And that's what we need to do. We need to energize ourselves. Like me doing Lent, and I'm kind of my body is getting less energy like in actual fact because I'm fasting, you know. But how we need to energize our spirits, the spirit of Australiana, the spirit of God inside Australians needs to awaken and be empowered. You know, we're a Christian nation. We need to be empowered by the Holy Spirit. We've been under threat by this atheist, globalist, Babylonian, demonic system that is come to steal, kill, and destroy. It wants us to be not get married and not be fathers and not be taking on the dragon, taking on the challenges of life. But we need to. How can I contribute to Anzac Month? So what we do, Anzac Month. Look, bro, just go look up like 30 quotes from Anzac and every day do a post from an Anzac, from a quote from an Anzac hero. There's just, if all of us looked up, you can be like, go to GPT and say, find me 30 quotes from Anzacs that name who they are and what they did. And then like get that quote, get a photo of that soldier and do a post about it and say happy Anzac Month. And you'll be like, holy shit. That's what I did last year. And I was like, Anzac Month made me want to do a post a day about an Anzac. And I learned a lot about our history and our culture and our tradition. Just like Australia Month, like the whole month of January, I'm looking up. I'm like, what's looking up heroes of Australia, political, military, inventors, creators, whatever, you know, sports heroes. This nation is full of, I think the power of the West is being the individual. The individuals inside, it must be a part of Anglo-Celtic culture and DNA. Like there's something powerful there that individuals rise up that are so creative, so they can invent, create. There's leadership at this individual level. We can look back and be so inspired and share that with the country. Like when with Australia Month, I looked at day one and I was like, holy fuck, 25,000 individual Twitter pages shared about Australian Month, right? In their own unique, creative, inspirational way. That's what they did. And at the same time, there was like fucking wars and terrorist attacks and crazy shit happening on January 1st. People hung over as fuck on from New Year's celebration the night before. But here we had 25,000 unique posts that were celebrating our nation all in their own unique way. And I thought, fuck, it was so positive. It was so positive that our people should be listening and looking at something so positive, something so inspirational in front of them as they scroll through. A lot of the time, like if you look at the news, man, it's all like doom. Look at this. Fix this lighting. It's all like doom. You're almost like doom scrolling, eh? Like through all this shit. It's like designed to demoralize us or to get us on the negative. We don't need that shit. I wish I was in Queensland for these types of events. Plus, you're not as far gone like our state of Victoria. Yeah, Queensland is just insane, man. Every single weekend, there's so much to do. There's so many events. Like I'm going to man, last weekend. Let me scroll down. This is this weekend coming. Friday, 7 p.m. Friday, March 28th. Bang. This Friday coming. I'm signed up to the British Australian just so I could go to this event. Going to be awesome. The other week I went to this event. Jordan Knight from Migration Watch. It was awesome. Young adults, young men, then there were young ladies there. Patriotic Australians concerned about mass migration and multiculturalism and house prices and all good stuff. It's just never ending. This post here, 23k views. That gave me a boost of like 500 new followers on Twitter. Where am I? This is what I did last weekend. Friday night, we went to a men's breakfast. Right. I didn't plug my internet cable in Slack. Anyway, last Friday night, we went to Dave Pallo's men's group. He runs Church and State Conference. So this dude's men's group is like what is it? It's bring your own meat. So we literally just rock up with steaks. Everyone's cooking meat, bantering, having a beer and a cigar. Bring your own, cook your own. That's it. There's no agenda. We might pray over the food. That's it. And then on the Saturday morning, I went to this men's breakfast. I shared my testimony. There was about, I think he said 130 blokes were there. I bought my arm wrestling table, shared my testimony. Saturday night, I went to the end mass migration event. And then bang, this weekend we had the anti-Greens rally. Next weekend we've got the British Australian community event. And it just doesn't stop in Brisbane. Like Brisbane, if you're thinking like, oh man, my state is shit, I need to get out. This is just such a good image to have there. If you think it's like shit, I'm sure you could find a job in Queensland. Move to Ipswich, it's still affordable. What I'm believing, like what I say to people now, it is unaffordable. It's very expensive. Like housing's expensive. And I think like you don't want to buy a unit, you don't want to buy a townhouse. My younger brother bought a half of a duplex. And bang, 3 bedrooms, single garage lockup. It's got a sick little backyard, and he's got full property rights. Like it's his land, he owns it. He doesn't have a body corporate, so you could move to Ipswich wherever you are. If you're like, dude, Brisbane sounds like there's heaps of shit going on, and there is. It doesn't stop. everyone is willing to work together. Every organization, every group, all the minor political parties. There's such a openness to, if you want to be a content creator, if you want to run events, whatever you want to do, people are going to back you up in Queensland. I'll back you up. I'll support you. If you want to move up here, move to Ipswich. It's a fucking half an hour train ride into the city. You know what I'm saying? It's so fucking good. Morning from Texas. Cheers, mate. Thanks for fucking tuning in. Men's breakfast. Were men on the menu? It was all blokes. I didn't even eat. Like, I had a coffee, and I was just like, sometimes when I go to events, I get in the zone and I try not to eat. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just won't eat. I'll just have a coffee or a beer, and that's it. But sounds like a great life, Dusty. Queensland seems to be doing pretty great. If only everyone on X got more active like you. Keep up the good work and the great content. Thanks, dude. I fucking appreciate that. Yeah, it's easy up here. I think we've made a lot of progress, and people like have set the culture in Queensland. So, you know, you can set that culture too. Like, be patient. I've gone out, like, I worked for Censored TV. I still work for Censored TV. I'm probably going to upload an episode this week. I haven't uploaded an episode since Australia Day. But like, interviewing people at protests for 4 years, right? I've been knocked back so many times on interviews. Maybe 50% of the time I'm knocked back for an interview. But I'm always respectful. I'm always polite. I always shake. Even if they say, sorry, mate, I shake their hand. I say, thanks, mate. I love what you're doing. And guess what? Eventually they say, it might take years. It's taken years sometimes to get an interview. Being polite, rocking up, being friendly, and bang. Thanks, bro. Yeah, it's like, it's funny, even if you watch on Censored TV, like, sometimes we go out and we're like, we don't even know. You don't really know if people. So now I've got a good rep, right? That people will say yes to interviews, but it took a long time because people are quite skeptical. The mainstream media are assholes, and they've given anyone with a microphone saying, "Hey, bro, want a fucking interview?" You know, it's hard. It's a tough gig because so many people have been assholes. So, but being polite, being respectful, shaking people in the hand, look them in the eye, introduce yourself. If they say no, say thank you for what they do, and try again, try again, try again. Eventually that door will open. And like, I've done that across the board. Like, I'm mates with all the minor political parties, all the political activist groups on the right, all the fraternities and men's groups on the right. So I've been able to probably not, I probably didn't push too much of the hard questions, but at the end of the day, I'm already talking about my convictions, what we need to do to fix the country. I want to hear them say what we need to do to fix the country. I want young Australians to hear, yeah, things are fucked, but there's things we can do to fix the country. And when you hear people say that, you're like, sweet, we can do that. We can fix things. The country can get back on track. Now, this is the beginning of the process. Get people talking about it, posting about it, organizing protests, organizing political events, political rallies. We've done this. We've done it. We're moving things along. How was Saturday? It was fucking awesome, man. Probably, they reckon 330 people rocked up. And there was the Libertarians. So the Libertarians put on the Libertarians and Advance, which is sort of like a right-wing think tank that's political politically active, and they've it's pretty sweet because I think Advance were the ones that probably like said the Greens are fucking this country. Greens that are the number one. It's Labor Party just piggybacks off the Greens' shitty ideas and pretty much runs them up and brings them into the mainstream. And of course, the Greens are just like university professors who are brainwashed with critical race theory, critical gender theory. They're like globalist, Trotskyite communists, right? So, Advance and the Libertarians, I think, put in the most amount of funding towards that event. And they did a real good job. They did a real good job. They united. They've worked together with One Nation and the Libertarians and Advance and Monica Smith. People came together. People got out. They gave us free T-shirts. I don't know where my T-shirt is, but they're freaking doing it. And it's not like there's almost so many events going on in Brisbane, you can't get to everything. So, of course, we only had 330 people. Next time there will be double. Cheers, Dusty. Unfortunately, off to bed. Got to get up at 4 a.m. for work. Good stuff, bro. To give most of my money to the government, accommodate all those non-skilled migrants so they can live better than me. Yeah. Oh, mate, it's fucked. All we got to do, we just got to work hard. We got to get through this. I'm working my guts out. I'm working. So censored TV, we got our deals renegotiated. I thought I was going to get the sack. I did 2 months. I didn't put an invoice in for 2 months. And then it was it took another month to get paid. So it was 3 months. I'm like, what's going on? And then finally I got paid, and then they renegotiated our deals. So now if you sign up to Censored TV, it might be $15 a month. And you get access to Owen Benjamin, Gavin McInnes, Anthony Cumia, Elijah Schaefer, and heaps more, right? For maybe $15. And, sign up, use promo code BOGAN, help me out, but you're going to get access to so much crap. And that's the new deal. The new deal is I don't get paid for my subscription. So it's kind of in a way, it's shit, I'm not getting paid directly. While I was waiting to get paid, which took 3 months, right? I got offered all this video editing work, and I kind of took on more than I could handle. And so, I've had to have a second income and bring in cash to pay the bills. And, it's all of us are, I think, working. Back in the day, my company concreting, there'd be plenty of overtime, and I wouldn't have had to work extra. But my missus is had morning sickness, and she's not able to. She was working maybe 2 days a week, and that totally helped. And so I'm like, fuck, absolutely on one income, and working concreting and working doing some video editing, paying the bills. And you're like, yeah, the cost of living is expensive in Australia. It's gone up a lot. So what's the answer? Unfortunately, we have to just work harder. If you can find a company where you're lucky enough that there's plenty of overtime, then you don't have to go and find that second job or second side hustle or build that side business. And no one, I think I've got 2 boys and a little girl on the way. When you've got kids, it's I want to have more free time. I want to spend more time with my kids and my missus and have that quality family time. But right now, it's like the cost of living so crazy that you got to work a lot, and that's the way it is. All I can say to people is, yeah, they've fucked this economy. They borrowed and printed too much money during COVID. Then the economy was going to collapse. The housing bubble was going to burst, and they mass migrated 1.5 million people into this country in the last, whatever it is, 2 years, 3 years. And that's designed to stop the country going into recession, to stop the housing bubble bursting. And that's the truth. I don't like it. It's not good. And I was talking to Shallow Chow about this. I interviewed him, and I think I posted out my interview with him, and I'll post. I've got to post my interview with him. He posted his interview with me. Yeah, we spoke about this. He's a builder. He knows what's going on. It's true that it's not good. The alternative option would be to let the housing bubble burst. They let re-migrate these people on visas. Let the visas run out. Let them return home. The housing market bubble would burst. House prices could drop by 35-40%, and the economy would go into a massive recession, and the government would have to cut the size of government, and they would have to do massive tax cuts to get people spending again, and then that's the way we could get out. Remigration. Yeah. So, like, what's the what if this scenario happened, right? Unfortunately, because the banks and the construction companies and the developers and the private sector and the media and everyone wants to keep this system propped up. They don't want the bubble to burst. They don't want a recession, right? But it's like, is it the lesser of two evils? Because we've destroyed housing prices for the next generation in the process. We've seen house prices, it feels like house prices have doubled since COVID and become out of reach for working class, blue collar Australians, young Australians, the next generation. Yeah, you could afford a unit or a townhouse. I'm telling people to get, I would if I was 18, if I was 15, if I was white Australian, I'm 15, bro. When I was 15, I worked in a car yard washing cars on Saturdays, and I worked at Hungry Jack's at night, and I went to, yeah. By the time I was in year 12, I started going to church and the gym and working them 2 part-time jobs, and I managed to save, maybe 20 grand. It can be done. The trick to saving money is to work out what you can do with your time that's not gonna make you spend your money. So that I would say going to church doesn't cost you nothing. Go to a Pentecostal church, go to the youth group, the young adults, a Bible study, go to Sunday morning church and Sunday night church. Why? Because you're in a positive environment around good people who aren't throwing their life down the gutter, right? Good place to meet a wife with good values, a woman of good value. A better quality women are there, right? Go to church, do that. Doesn't cost you any money. You might put $10 in. You might chuck $10 in the contribute to the church. Be like, thanks, because I'm spending so much time here. Maximum $20, right? Then get a gym membership. By the time you have that you're working 2 jobs, you're getting a side hustle while you're finishing school, while you're studying, while you're doing your apprenticeship. Even doing an apprenticeship, go get a second job. go to church, go to the gym, occupy your life so that you've got that much shit going on that you're not going to the pub and wasting your money on booze and pokey machines and shit, right? That's what you need to do. You need to position your social life around zero to little cost. What's a gym membership? $20 a week? Well, if you can go to the gym 5 days of the week, knock off work and go to the gym every fucking night, and your nights are now occupied and you're not going to the pub and spending money, right? That's how you're going to start saving. We all do it. We all spend our money when we're not occupied. You need to build a social life around low cost events. Like, we're lucky in Brisbane, there's so many events. They don't cost nothing. You rock up, generally there's a free barbecue and speeches and great people, and bang, train it in or carpool it in with your mates, chip in for fuel, doesn't cost you nothing. Go like easy peasy. That's how you do it. We'll keep reading the comment. That's the only solution. No one wants to live in a society where you have to work 60 hours a week only to be surrounded by Indians and Chinese. That's true, bro. I've said this in my workplace. Like, there is that older generation of Vietnamese and Filipino guys who never really spoke English, and like, it's a problem when you're around people. When you're around Anglos, right? You're cracking jokes. You grew up. You watch the same TV shows. You watch the same sports heroes. You get it. You know what I mean? You can banter. You can joke around. And then you've got these guys with broken English. You can't even joke around with them because there's a barrier. There's an English language barrier and a cultural barrier. So we're like, every day you are depleting the quality of your life while you're concreting or driving a forklift or driving a truck or working in a factory or laying bricks or whatever it is that you do. There's a less of a quality. If you're around Anglo-Celtic European Australians, it's just better. You're going to have a better quality. So this is true. If we're around, like we are going to be, if you're a blue collar worker like me, I'm a concrete laborer. I've been in the game for 18 years. Yes, I know the game well and I get paid reasonably well. I'm not a qualified concreter, so I'm working with lots of foreigners, lots of young guys. There's a huge turnover, and we're working. Yeah, I'll be working 60 hours a week, right? Like, let's be real. 50, maybe 50, 45, 50, maybe 50, 55 hours a week. It's more than we want to. So our quality of life, to have to work that amount of hours, and I would say, like, you have to, as a young man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's going on in the country. The country was going pretty good when I was young, and I still worked a 60-hour week. And I always found a side hustle and made extra cash. And I always positioned myself in church in a low cost environment where it didn't cost me much money. I knew I was in church because it didn't cost me fuck all to my mates are at the pub getting. First year out of school, I was at the pub every Monday was steak night. Wednesday was pool at the RSL, pool night, shooting pool. Thursday was cheap drinks. Friday night, we're at the local. Saturday, we went out clubbing. And we did this for 12 months. And every night, every day was occupied. And we were you'd burn through your whole pay packet. You know what I mean? And I was like, no, I need to get back into the routine that I got in year 12 high school, where I was at church, I was at the gym, and I was saving cash, and you need to position yourself wisely when you're working hard. Like, of course, enjoy a beer, enjoy your life, eat good food, but like you have to bank the cash. You have to bank the cash. You have to position yourself. There's nothing wrong with having a barbecue with your mates. There's nothing wrong with going to the beach or going for a bushwalk or, you know, occupy yourself, get a gym membership. You think, oh, $80 a month is pretty expensive. $100 a month is pretty expensive to get a gym membership. It's like, mate, if you're going 5 days a week, 4 days a week, even 3 days a week, and that's 3 days a week you're not at the pub. One arvo at the pub, you could spend $100 easy. There's your month of gym membership. You know what I mean? So think about where you're positioning yourself and where you're, where you are. Whoever you're in proximity to, you will kind of become like. And unfortunately, here we're talking about being surrounded by Indians and Chinese people working 60 hours a week with people who you're never really going to connect with. Every one of us segregates back to our tribal foundations or origins. It's only natural. The Indians will do it. The Chinese will do it. The Anglos will do it. So, you need to find places where you can have your community, whether it's a fraternity, a men's group, a church, a political party that has branches. Like, sign up, get into a community around our people because it's good for you. It's what everyone does. It's natural. It's the natural order of things. I'm just going to read a few comments out. Depending on if you took a mortgage at high prices, if people get a big price plummet, the banks will foreclose like in 2007. That's right. So if you are, so if like, this is why Albanese and Dutton are like mass migration people. They are propping up the economy from going into recession. They want to stop the housing bubble from bursting, and that's what they don't want to happen. Unfortunately, it's like, young guys or young people who have bought a $800,000 house, $700,000 house. If we said tomorrow, no mass migration, all the temporary visas are returning home, 1 million people will return home, there's no pathway to citizenship, the economy could crash. How to stop that is to do what Trump and Elon Musk are doing, is to go through everything, find where all the waste is, make sure we're getting value for money with our taxes, work out where we can, how much we can save in taxes, and then give tax cuts so people have more money to spend in the economy, because essentially it's spending in the economy that's going to stop the crash. This is why we've brought in 1.5 million, third worlders, because they're all spending, buying breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that small amount of spending, the things that we all spend to survive on a day-to-day, is propping up the economy. Working 2 jobs isn't normal, bro. No, it's not. But think about it. Like, when the country was better times, your one main day job would be over. There'd be plenty of overtime. So unfortunately, there's probably, like, with my concreting job, when I've been concreting for 18 years, probably the first 12 years was hectic, 55-hour weeks, and of the last 5 to 8 years, it's been like 40 hours, 45-hour weeks. You know what I mean? So we're missing out on the bigger paychecks because there's not as much overtime. I never went out. So when I was young, I worked a second job to save for my mortgage, to save for my wedding, to save for the renovations I wanted, to save for holidays to America and Europe, right? To do all that, I went out and worked say, driving a forklift night shift in a factory. I'd buy and sell cars. I had a lawn mowing business. I was doing all these things to make extra cash. And then censored TV came my way, and I got paid to make content for censored TV. Like, the phone just rang. I didn't seek that out. Right now, I'm doing video editing. The phone just rang, and I was like, yeah, right, I'll do it. I didn't seek that out. But I would say, unfortunately, it's not normal to have to work 2 jobs. It's unfortunate. But, and you get tired, you get worn out, you get exhausted. You have to watch what you smoke. Like, you have to watch what you're eating and drinking, and how many you're probably like, I'll want to smoke more cigarettes because I'm working more. My body's under more stress. You want to drink more. You want to you eat. You can go for the fast food and the junk food more. You train less. You probably sleep less. So you become more unhealthy. You have relationship. You're not your missus. You're not as helpful. So there's all these like problems that come with it. Who can drink at pubs? My bar is my living room these days. Yeah. And pubs have just gone like out of control prices. Pre-COVID, the Victory pub in Brisbane City was $10 jugs of beer. It was fucking awesome. And them days are gone. Now you're paying $10, $12 for a schooner. It's disgusting. Guy at work said his last job was in a factory where the whole welding team was just Chinese guys in their own little part of the factory. Yeah, happens, man. And they could, like, do you know how easy it is? Really, it's pretty easy to learn how to weld. I can weld. I teach people how to weld, like MIG weld, stick weld, whatever. And the thing is, like, this is in the Libertarian Party, a part of the plan there would be to drop. There would be a price that people literally have to pay a monthly fee to migrate to Australia, which would price out all these Uber drivers and low skilled jobs. And as supply and demand increased, people wanted to migrate, they could be paying thousands of dollars a month to be here. So I would price all that out. But at the same time, connected to that immigration policy was like, less people will be coming in. People will be on temporary visas. It'd be like a rotating door. They would come in and then they would leave. They'd be here temporarily to fill skill shortages, while the local people on Centrelink should be doing these jobs. And that's the thing. There's 2.5 million people on social welfare in this country. Look, maybe 500,000 of them are disabled on the disability pension scheme. Half of them are probably scammers. Maybe there's a million pensioners, and maybe there's a million people on the dole who could be working and could be driving Ubers and could be freaking PBs on 60 Minutes. I know, I see my missus is watching it right now. PBs on 60 Minutes, Dusty, you should be watching it. I mean, I know everything that happened in the PBs. I was in the PBs. And I left. The only reason I left the Proud Boys is because it became more about drinking beers in the pub and less about getting out and doing stuff. So I was like, I tried to reactivate my chapter, and unfortunately the guys didn't like my plan. So I was like, all right, guys, I love the Proud Boys. They're awesome. If there's such a place for that fraternity for men to like, I would encourage people to join, be a part of it, because you're going to become a better bloke and you're going to be rapidly mature and you're around great people, right? So it has all these benefits. in the club. And there is a certain amount of political activism that's good. I just wanted a bit more. And I'm freaking the best of mates with the guys. So, I mean, obviously, when you're in proximity of people, you're hanging out more. If you're in a fraternity, if you're in a men's group, if you're in a church, if you're in a political party branch, that's the people you're around. That's you hanging out more, right? So I'm not in the club, so I'm not hanging out with the blokes like I used to. And now I'm doing other things, so I'm losing. I'm not in proximity as often, so there's not as much interaction at the mateship level. Let's be honest. Yeah, back in my 20s, 50-hour week was normal. Exactly. And there'd be OT and there was money to be made. And it's awesome. And like, that's the way it was. We really want to see like the good days can come back. That's for sure. You know what I mean? Who's that based young guy at the Libertarian Party event in Ipswich? Is he on X? No, I don't know where he is. I don't know where he hasn't returned. I can't remember. Like, I've actually been pretty slack, to be honest. I said to my missus, I was like, man, I used to make sure I got everyone's numbers, and then I'd be like, right, I got all these numbers, and then whenever I'm going somewhere, I'll just text everyone, have like a text message list of like 50 people, and I would add people to my text message list, and I would like just send, how you going, mate? And try to connect with people and touch base. And I used to be onto it, and probably like, working a lot and having the family, I'm like, find myself being slack on that front. And like, that's just the way it is. But yeah, I may have got that I may have got that guy's number, and I don't even know. I can't even remember. I'd have to like. The problem is when you're saving so many people's numbers. I got a few numbers on the weekend and last weekend and at all these events. People be like, stay in contact, Dusty, give them my details, get that details. And then you're like, fuck. Then you go through the phone, you're like, I can't even, over that month, I can't even remember who the fuck's who. So, that's why it's important to have like groups. Honestly, like I need to be in group. You need to be in a group where then you've got like a structure for this shit, and you have a monthly meet, and it's at the same time and location. It's easier for blokes to have like a structured kind of thing like this. This is why the Proud Boys was important. This is why all these groups are going to be important, because and I think like you do want just a blokey environment. He seems great. I should contact him. We sound similar. Yeah, I mean, he was a young man who was passionate about the concerns of the country. Like if I see, like I always bang on about the immigration, house prices, the cost of living, what we can do, what needs to be done, what I would do if I was the king of Australia, kind of thing. It's important because I think of when I was 18, when I was a young dude, what was I know how hard I was doing the overtime. I had my side hustle. I was saving the cash. I was wisely positioning myself to not spend cash, to bank it up, to get in the property market, to get married, and to tick these goals off the box before having kids and saving cash. We did it. We followed we set a goal, we set a plan, and we followed it, right? And it was challenging, it was difficult, and it was hard work. And I know that all the young people, you can't deviate from the tried and true plans. Unfortunately, I think we could make more mistakes. You could maybe date a girl for 12 months and go, she's not the one, and then get rid of her and then try to find the one. And like now you're like, every mistake like that, every time, you go work at a company and you're like, nah, it's not for me. I'm fucking changing company or I'm changing career. So I could do that. I did that a few times, you know what I mean? And I think for young people, it's like, you almost got to be like, I'm going to be a concrete, I'm going to be a sparky. And you got to go like, finish your apprenticeship. If that's what you want to do, drop out of school. I mean, the challenge is too, the government's made, you got to do 100 hours to get your driver's license. So like when I was 16, you just did your learners. A year later, you got your license. You got a shitty part-time job. You could save up for the car and you're on the road. You got your wheels. You can go get the job. So like, that's another thing. We should be like year 10. If I could change things, I'd be like year 10, compulsory finishing year 10 should be like, get your P plates. You know what I mean? Like, should be a part of the curriculum. Should be like, you're 15, you go for your learners. By the time you're 16, you should have your driver's license. Once you've got the car, then you can go get the job. You can go get the apprenticeship. But these things need to happen in order. And there's sort of not as much time to make mistakes because you need to be 15. We've got white Australian here. He's 15. When I was a youth leader and volunteered for 2,500 hours for like 8 to 10 years, say, a lot of my goals was to get the young dudes their learner's license, do driving lessons with them, get them a part-time job, get them to finish school, mainly staying at school. You might as well stay at school, have a part-time job, because they couldn't necessarily get the driver's license. So it was like, get the part-time job, save up money so you have a car. By the time you finish school, you've got your license, you've got the shitbox car, so then you can get the job. And in between the part-time job would be like trying to get them on building projects, whatever it is. So-and-so's pouring a slab, so-and-so's building a fence, someone's building a deck, and you're trying to get them crucial experience. And that was the goal. And it was getting them into the gym, getting them into the routine of church and the gym. And like, this is the lifestyle: gym, church, work, get the license, get the car, get the job, get the cash, meet the high quality chick, marry her, buy the house, have the kids, enjoy. That's the structure. That's the natural order of life, that we can't be like, reinvent the wheel. We ain't reinventing the wheel here. You know what I mean? Don't fucking try to reinvent the wheel. That's what the left has done, and it's a failure. Well, this is what atheism has done. It's bad software. It's a bad program. It doesn't work. We've run our mind, our brains have downloaded bad software. It's time to remove that software, go back to what was working, re-upload the functioning Christian structure. And don't fucking deviate. We could deviate. We could make mistakes because the economy was better, house prices were better. You could fucking make some mistakes, and that seemed to be fine. Right now, it's less mistakes can be made, unfortunately. But we need to talk about that shit. Right, I'm out of here too. God bless you. It's 9:45. We've been going for just over an hour. Thanks for tuning in. We will be doing Anzac Month starting on the 1st of April. If you can help in any way. In Brisbane City, what we do is we get Australian-made Aussie flags Usually we buy some Australian made and some cheaper ones, probably made in China. But unfortunately, it would be like a Chinese one could be like 20 cents. An Australian made one would be like $2. Or $1. Let's be honest. But we hand these out at Anzac Day parades. We rock up, we hand them out, and it's that easy. If you want to go and buy 100 Aussie flags and rock up to your Anzac Day parade, just stand there and say, "Hey guys, flag for the kids." Families love it. If you go to the parents' say, "We're handing out flags to families. Happy Australia, happy Anzac Day, happy Anzac month." They'll go, "Oh, thank you so much," and you'll hand out 100 flags in 5 minutes, and you'll be like, "Fuck, that was awesome." So that's what we're doing on Anzac Day at Anzac Day parade on Anzac Day. We'll be handing out flags. We've done it for 5 years now in Brisbane CBD. We'll be meeting at the Eternal Flame at like 8:30 a.m. on Anzac Day. You can join us. Bring your own Aussie flags. We'll have like 1,000 we'll distribute to people who want to help us. And then we might have a game at 2UPs. But Anzac Day on the 1st of April, you can help. You can post, happy Anzac month. Happy Anzac month. Look up quotes from Anzacs. Look up Anzac heroes. Post it on your social media and just say, "Happy Anzac month." And that's a way that we can all contribute to re-energize our nation to be more patriotic, respect the people who came before us, and honor this nation. And we want to energize ourselves and energize